Pleased to start a qualifying Road America Session 1, ready for our sprint race. This Road America track, located just outside the town of Plymouth. Opened its doors in 1955, has seen some great racing, probably the home to most of the American series. It's a 6.5 kilometre track. Some great corners in here. There's the carousel, the kink, the hurry downs. We go trackside. Having a look, we're first up on track at the minute. Our first we've got is Deputy Dog. He looks like he's just getting around turn 1. All these boys now out on track are going to be starting to put some heat into the tyres. Best way to do that is probably ride the brakes a little bit, put some heat into the rims. Pit lane Jamie, I know you're warming the tyres up, buddy. Just be aware of other cars around you. Cheers, buddy. All the boys now coming up the marine sweep, as they call it. This bit of a straight here, great place to get in the draft of other cars. A couple of lads still out in the pit at the minute. So we'll really see where all the boys are at once they've put some heat into the tyres and have gone around again. But at the minute, boys behaving themselves. Looks like Definio's up a bit. All the boys are going to be wanting to get the spacing out. Make sure they've got enough space between the car in front to try and... Oh, it looks like Tro is having a bit of an excursion there. Yellow flag, turn 2. Looks like there was a bit of contact there between the boys, and this is an outlap, so the guys need to be a bit more spatially aware as they're coming around. Who's out in the... Let's have a look at front. See who the lead car is. Sorry about the cameras. So the lead car seems to be Javi, leading the field away. He's going to be the first one to try and settle up. Still trying to put a bit of heat into the tyres. He just manoeuvred around the carousel. Coming into the kink now. This is flat out for these cars. Even with a full load of fuel on board, these cars still managing to take these corners real quick. Imagine it's going to be a great drafting battle. As you can see in the background there, just coming down the kettle bottoms, all the cars ready to put the lap in. So all them boys need to start getting the spacing ready. Otherwise they're going to be tripping one another up, as we see Javi getting very sideways there, coming out of the Canadian corner. But like I say, coming through turn 10 into turn 11, he's going to be the first up. Our new driver, Javi, to set a lap, coming to turn 11 now, trying to get a smooth exit here. Important not to put 4 wheels out of the left-hand side, because it compromises the lap. So Javi first up to set a lap. Good up the start-finish, flat out there, fourth. Good line through the last corner by Javi, must be said. So he's coming to turn 1. Let's go on board with him into the cockpit view. Into turn 1, the tricky one. See what gear he knocks it down into the turkey. To third or fourth. You keep it clean, he does. Looks like them tyres still need a bit more heat in them, but navigated turn 1 pretty good. Now coming up onto turn 2. One of my favourite corners in the Road America circuit. See how he does. Good line there by Javi. Back tyres still very cold, right hand side. They're now navigating the marine sweep, the fast, long straight before you hit the heavy braking zone of turn 3. This is a great place to get in the draft of cars. I see cars behind. I'm not too sure what them boys are, but they are side by side. They need to keep their space in. Great, it's pit lane Jamie who's got the corner. It must be said these boys really needed to sort out the spacing a little better. Who is that with him? It is Definio, one of the members of staff here at Rubbins Racing. These boys really close to one another. Back on board with Javi. Whereabouts is he? He's just exiting the hurry down corners. Real difficult one. He likes to put you out. Coming up onto turn 6. Does he get it stopped? He does. Good line through there. All falls within the line. Coming up on the carousel now. A real famous bit of track. Some of the boys managing to take it flat out in fourth, and others having to lift off. We'll keep on top of that when we get into race mode. Still on board with Javi. Good line through the carousel. Coming up to the kink now. Does he lift? Does he? Hell, straight through. Good line. Coming through the kink, into the kettle bottoms, the little fast left and right bit, a little less. Coming up on Canadian corner, this can be all lost in these couple of corners here. I can't emphasise enough how much these guys need to keep within the lines. Down into second. No problem for the driver there. Navigating Canadian corner through turn 10. Tidy as you like. Into turn 11 now. This is going to be all thrown away the whole entire lap through this one corner. It's a tricky one. Dropped it into second to make sure it comes around. So Javi across the line is going to give us our first time of the night. See what sort of time he does. Welcome Rome. I hope you're in the SR3, buddy. Clean racing lobby. Javi across the line, a 2:17. That is definitely going to get beaten. Looks like Uniclark, a 2:13. Great laugh. Deputy now, coming over. What does he set? A 2:18. A bit of an outlap from Deputy Dog. Looks like Fanbury, though, will go on board with him as he navigates the last corner coming up on across the start finish. Let's see what sort of lap time he will set. One of the quicker drivers out in these things. Just naturally, like a duck to water with these, he seems to be very quick. What sort of lap is he setting? He takes second position, only 2 tenths behind Uniclark. Uniclark, our driver from Swindon, doing a good job at the minute. Whereabouts is Lecky still in the pit? Luke now navigating. Where was he there on track? Coming through the kink, looked like he got it all sorts of wrong. Deputy Dog still with a car really behind him. I'm not sure who that is. Let's have a look. It's about the cameras, boys. I will get you some. And it's twat. Thornbury's gone off. Yellow flag, turn 2. Yellow flag, turn 2. And the driver behind is Dufinio. So it is Dufinio and Deputy, real close proximity to one another. Neither one of them wanting to give much time up. Luke across the line. 2:10. Class of the field. 2 seconds, 7 tenths. So someone gets very sideways in the background there. Deputy, oh, it's Andy Upstairs. He comes across the line. 4th place for Andy. That car looking very quick down the marine sweep into turn 3. Andy, one of the local commentators for Rubbin Racing, doing a hell of a job. Very wide there. Hopefully no slowdown as he manages to get it back on track for turn 4. Difficult bit of track here with these things. They like to get sideways into the hurry downs. Ubar in 5th position at the minute with a 2:14. Good lap by Ubar coming through the kink. Seems to have got his spacing right. You know, he's got a good gap in front. He's also up on his lap delta by 1200ths of a second. The lad is absolutely flying at the minute. Where will that put him? I think that will put him in contention for at least a podium spot for the qualifying. I think it might put him 3rd as long as he can navigate turn 10 and 11 without too much difficulty. He may have Thornbury Hills spot here, but it's not over it until that car gets across the start finish. Good line out at turn 11 by Ubar. Ubar, our Dutch driver from Dreef. Let's see what sort of lap time he sits. Where is he going to sit? He takes 2nd. Hell of a lap. Hell of a lap. Managing to keep a bit of time. Maybe lost a 10th through turn 10 and 11, but 2nd position at the minute. Looks like Dufinio's very sideways. Yellow flag, turn 1. Yellow flag, turn 1 on the inside. Unlucky by Dufinio there. We've also got Javi off as well, turn 2. So yellow flag, turn 2. Yellow flag, turn 2. Scotty coming up the start finish. Currently sitting in 9th for top 10 position. Can he improve? Currently on a 2:17. Nope. 3-4 seconds down on his best there. So he will wind up and go again. It's our Welsh driver from Swansea. Pit lane Jamie. New to the Rubbins Racing League. Currently sitting inside the top 10 position. What can you say about that? He's driving fantastically, beating some of the regulars here. Coming up into turn 3. Does he get it stopped? He does. Good line by pit lane Jamie. Good to see him out on track. Good to see him racing in the Thursday Night Light Series. Tro in the pit. Rome, new to the Rubbins Racing Series. This is his first race out. We have raced with him online before, so hopefully the guy keeps it clean, respects the drivers out on there, and hopefully we can get him involved in more league racing. Lecky, our touring car mod, recently promoted from Marshall, doing a good job behind the scenes. A lot of work done by him. I'd like to thank him very much for all his hard work. Currently sitting in 13th for the minute is our guy from Manchester. Yet to set a lap. Kembo, still yet to set a lap. 6 minutes to go though, so got plenty of time. Exiting turn 2. Still looks like he's putting a bit of heat into those tyres. So Lecky and Kembo and Rome still to set a lap. Let's see what Luke's up to. Looks like he's coming up on a bit of a traffic through turn 2. Hopefully it doesn't compromise him too much. No, putting a bit of heat into the tyre. So Luke on an out lap. Ubar coming up on the same bit of track. The tyres are absolutely freezing. So Ubar on an out lap too. Looks like Uniclark's still going for it though. Our driver from Swindon navigating the marine sweep under the bridge down into turn 3. Heavy braking zone. Does he get it stopped? Smooth as you like. Good line there for your Uniclark. Is he improving though? We'll have a look at the lap delta in a minute. Currently sitting in 3rd. Some fast guys behind him though. Andy, Thornbury Hill, Deputy Dog, Dufinio, all very close to each other. All still to fight for. 5 minutes down at the minute in this famous American circuit. class of the field is Luke Bennett, our Pro Esports driver from Birmingham, with a 2 minute 10. Absolutely acing this 6.5 kilometre track. Uniclark flat out through the carousel, very impressive. Quick check back on what Andy's up to. Rome, Lecky and Ken still to set a lap. Andy putting heat into the tyres. No, is it real? Oh, yeah. It should be. It should be. I logged in earlier, mate. It should be 100%. It even come up with all the Rubbins Racing stuff, so 100% I am on that channel. That's why I asked nobody to log into it. Anyway, Deputy Dog for the kink. JR Lock and Loads, Rubbin Racing, it's on, mate. I don't do that to me. Right, Deputy Dog through the kettle bottom now, sitting in 6th position, trying to catch Andy. No, my bad, he's actually coming into the last corner, so down into 3rd, turn 11. Deputy Dog, thanks for joining us on the YouTube channel, thanks for the comments and support, boys, it means a lot. All the drivers out tonight in the SR3 Radical, the random Thursday Night Light series. See what Deputy does, 2:14 at the minute, cross the line. Does he improve? He doesn't. Still holds in 6th position. Dafinio, a little way back from him. 2/10 behind. Just navigated the kink. Good line by Dafinio through that bit of the track. Check driver there. Ace in the kink. Good top end on that SR3. About 143 mile per hour down the back end of that. Struggled to get past 138 or something like that in mine. Dafinio then seems to have that thing wound up pretty good. Coming up onto turn 11. Not sure of the lap delta quite yet. We'll take a quick look at it. Dafinio now coming up the start finish. Can he improve? Currently sitting in 7th on a 2 minute 14. Couple attempts and he can take 6. Across the line now. No, down. So that must have been an outlap for Dafinio. Will go again. Back to Javi. Seems to be slowing down. He's going to let the field through, I think. Yes, he is. Good driving, good spatial awareness from our driver there. Where's Scotty out on track? About to set another lap. 2/10 down on his best there, so he's getting quicker as Scotty, our Welsh driver. Then, pit lane Jamie coming across the line now to see if he can improve at all in the 2:17. New to the Rubbins Racing League. Good to have him on board. He doesn't improve, but Scotty seems to... Well, it's actually Rome, I think, who's got himself up into P9. So that's actually demoted pit lane Jamie from a top 10 position through qualifying, but of course everybody wants to be at the front end, the sharp end of the grid, but they're only 1 point on board for fastest lap and pole position, so 2 points up to grab, sorry, in this session. Fastest lap and pole position. Currently Luke seems to have quite a healthy advantage over that. Welcome everybody on the YouTube channel, thanks for joining us. Luke with a considerable gap over Uniclark, but looking back from there on, Uniclark with Uber all over the back of him. Thornbury Hill just come through, setting a blinder of a lap, a 2:13 flat almost. So close with Uniclark, there's absolutely nothing in it between these two. Good lap by Thornbury Hill. Uniclark sitting in 3rd. Uber demoted to 4th. Can he improve? Can he get back on the podium spots? Then, take a look, Kembo, our American driver, sitting in 5th at the minute. Great position by them. Currently a little down on his best at the minute is Kembo, but still a minute to go. Might get round to putting another one. Andy, our resident commentator, comes across the line. Good lap by Andy that time around. He was up on his best, sitting in 6th at the minute. Deputy into the pit. Thornbury Hill into the pit. Tro into the pit. These guys must be getting ready for the race, I imagine. Just a quick look at the comments on YouTube. Leonardo Joe Piera, thank you. Give him a trophy. We'll try. Tuggy Bear and Leonardo, thank you for joining us. Thank you for the comments too. Means a lot. Luke, holding that 1st position at the minute. Andy did a good job there navigating turn 2, not to get it all sideways and crossed up. Lecky's still to set a lap. Let's go on board with Lecky. What is going on with him? Our touring car host. Flick of the headlights there. Through the kink. Good line by our touring car ace. Professional driver. Good line through the kettle bottoms. Coming up onto the Canadian corner, or Canada corner, turn 9. Does he get it stopped in time? He does. It looked like a good line through there. He's careful not to put it out too far because you'll end up all 4 wheels outside. That's qualifying over with. So the Bios currently out on a lap will be their last one. So Lecky, this is it for all the marbles. Currently sitting in last place position, 14th. Can he improve? Good exit out of turn 11, so he's got every opportunity to cross the start finish at the minute. At least put a time on the board. What does Lecky do? Lecky moves up 1 spot. Joe into the pit, so he cannot reply. Who else is out on a lap? Uber? Uber out on a lap. Uber up the start finish. Currently sitting in 4th. Can he get up to 3rd position? Only a couple of thousandths of a second. Comes across the line, can't improve. Next man out on track is Andy. Andy through the kink. He's got Kembo trying to get up on him now. Little gap between these boys, almost half a second. Can Andy improve? Andy and Deputy and Scotty, only guys out on track at the minute. Andy up to start finish now, turn 11. Can he improve? Currently sitting in 6th. Andy across the line, man from Watford, does he improve? He does, he takes Kembo on the last fucking spot. Good lap by Andy there. Scotty, last guy out at the minute, following the kink, so we'll get this lap in, we'll stay on board with him. Hell of a job by Andy. Currently, Scotty is 6 tenths up on his best. So 6 tenths would see him improve at least to 11th. See what he can do through this bit of track. He looks like a bit wide through the Canadian corner, but still managing to keep it going. Turn 10. Little S-bend into turn 11. Scotty, for all the marbles now, trying to get up into a top 10 position. See what he's like through turn 11. Can our man from Swansea improve? The last ditch hurrah. Here he goes. P12, 216. He does improve and he takes that little position there, so he moves up a spot. Nice work to Luke Bennett, our man from Birmingham there, with a hell of a lap compared to the rest of the field, but the rest of the field so closely bunched together. That's it's great to see. This will be a lot of drafting going on. I would like to remind the boys that it's the first race and you can't win it in the first corner, so just be respectable for one another. Remember, this is a 20-minute sprint race. You have all the time in the world. Good luck and to you all. Luke, Thornbury, Uniclark seem to be the class of the field. Uber just missing out there as we continue to our first race of the night, our sprint race, followed by our reverse grid feature race soon up to come. So these boys will all be sorting the fuel loads out now. Every one of them will be trying to open up them ducts a little bit, though, because qualifying mode's quite different from the race mode. You can't run with all that stuff closed up as much. The car would just overheat and blow up. So quick run down the grid while we're drivers are setting up the cars. Luke in 2nd, Thornbury 3rd, Uniclark 3rd, Uber 4th, Andy, good job in the end, jumping Kent, Kenvo in 6th, Deputy Dog, neutral league in 7th, 8th is Dafinia, 9th, Javi, Rome, 10th as well, he did a good job, is new to the league, Scotty in 11th, Pit Lane Jamie in 12th, Lecky in the end, managing to put a lap in, but a little too late there, maybe not got everything up to temperature. Tro just losing out at the end there. Lecky just doing it, so we'll keep on board with Luke or Thornbury Hill and we'll get to see the start here. So these boys, it's going to be very difficult, they're in the sort of same livery. So it's going to be hard to sort of keep on top. In fact, it won't be because Luke's number 3 and Thornbury Hill is number 4. So we'll see what sort of start these boys get from the start. Luke struggled last time out in Suzuka with the starts. He always bogged down off the start. So is it going to be more of the same from Luke, or will he manage to get these things off the line? He has Uniclark and Uber on the 2nd spots of the grid. These boys will all be looking to pounce. Great starters. Obviously different strategies by the boys, but no pit stop, just a straight sprint. Hopefully we can keep it clean coming into turn 1 and turn 2. These boys all class of the field, all very well drivers. Only a couple of guys in with Pit Lane Jamie, Javi and Deputy that haven't raced with us before. So clean racing by all the boys. The boys have got 15 seconds until we go lights out, green light with our sprint race of Road America. 6.5 kilometres. Here we go. Nearly ready for lights out. Luke Bennett sitting on P1. Can he get a start? Can he get the start he wants? Here we go. We are ready to go at Road America. Green light, green light. Looks like Thornbury Hill got a hell of a start. Luke did bog down, but has managed to start going again. Uniclark's definitely got the draft, but Uber seems to have the inside corner for turn 1. Will the boys manage to get it sorted out? Looks like we've got a lot of people on the inside there, so the guys need to watch the spacing. As I just watched, who was that went to the back? I think that was Kenbo getting it all wrong under the brakes. These boys all very sideways. Uniclark very sideways there. So Javi and Rome up into P5 and P3. These boys still sideways. Take a look back. Tro on the inside needs to keep his distance. Kenbo trying to do it on the outside of turn 3 coming up the marine sweep. So this is where the boys will all start to be drafting one another. Luke arguing with Thornbury Hill. These boys flat out coming up into turn 3. So onto the brakes now. Looks like Luke's going to have the inside line for it. The boys need to make no contact with each other. Slight tap there, and it looks like Thornbury's going to lose out a little bit. It was Luke, actually, that lost out a little bit, my bad. So these boys all fighting. Dufinio now on the back end of pit lane Jamie, managing to keep it clean. Kenbo, again, being hassled by Ubar a little bit. Kenbo managed to keep it on track. Looks like pit lane Jamie was very slow off that bit of track. It was Dufinio that was slow. Sorry about the camera angle here, boys. Quick check back. What's Lecky up to? Lecky making some moves. Up into P8. Hell of a job. Uniclark seems to be getting it bad and worse. Andy is following up P11. Lost out from P6. Now, Luke, will he run away with this? It looks like Thornbury's managed to keep with him. Flat out both of these boys through these. It looks like we've got our first drive-through of the night for pit lane Jamie, so he will take that. Pit lane penalty. Thornbury now in the draft of Luke, coming up into turn 9, the Canadian corner. Luke, P1. Thornbury on the back end of him. Happy now, chasing down Rome. Rome getting a really good start. What's Ken up to? He's losing a few positions out wide, coming through Canadian corner. How many more positions will he lose? Into P8. Lecky's trying to have a go around the outside. He does. I think Lecky's through. No, yeah, he is. In the background there, I have Scotty going very wide through that section of track. Thornbury looks like he's fighting back with Luke in the draft. Let's go on board with him. See which one's quicker. It looks like Thornbury in the draft is catching up with Luke there. Into turn 1, does he manage to get it stopped onto the brakes? Thornbury very, very late on the brakes. Kenbo now seems to have Scotty up the side of him, or at least near him. Lecky in the front of these boys. Lecky with a hell of a start from 13th place. Does Kenbo get it stopped? Looked like a bit later on the brakes, but manages to get it done. Scotty up the inside of him. Doesn't look like he's fully up the inside. He's not. What about onto the brakes? Yep, Scotty seems to be having a nibble. Does Ken see him? He does. Good driving by these boys. Luke's pulled out 8 tenths to Thornbury. We'll take a look back. What's Javi up to? Javi just trying to follow the Rome in front of him. Kenbo still with all these boys behind him. Lecky following this little field away, so it looks like Kenbo and Scotty are having a hell of a fight coming up the marine sweep into turn 3. Heavy braking zone. Do the boys manage to get it stopped in time? Oh, it doesn't look like Ken managing to. He hits the back of Lecky. Lecky managing to hold position. That's good. Otherwise, the positions would have had to be give back. Javi now still chasing down Rome for that last podium spot. Quick on board with Uber. What is he up to? Currently sitting in P6 at the minute is our Dutch driver from Dreef. The mod of the LMP1 League on a Saturday. A good job at the minute. Andy now on the back end of Scotty with Lecky, who seems to have dropped down, so maybe a bit of an accident by Lecky. Kenbo going very slow around the carousel. These boys so close. Let's go on board here with Andy through the carousel. Great shot of these boys. Careful not to use much curve. Kenbo lost a lot of speed. Yellow flag through the carousel, entering the kink. Yellow flag. Andy flat out through the kink. Lecky also very quick behind him. A lot of trainer cars. What's Dufinio up to? Dufinio going very quickly at the minute. Has got Rome dead in his sights here. Navigated Canadian corner very well up to turn 10 now. Dufinio very much in the draft. Into turn 11. Will he have a go in for the brakes? It looked like he was having a look there, so we'll see if he can get the draft. Lopsided line there by our Dutch driver. He's in the draft. Pulling off to the side now. It looks like Rome's going to have to concede the position. Dufinio through, it looks like. But Rome doesn't look like he wants to give that position up. Rome looks like he's got that car set up for flat-out speed. These guys side by side coming up into turn 1. Something's got to give. Dufinio has the inside line. Very slow car in front as well. I don't know who that is. Is that Javi? It is. So these boys have caught right up on the back of P2. What's Scotty up to? Scotty on the brakes, hassling Andy a little bit there. Uniclark making his way back up the field. He's got Deputy Dog, very fast racer there at the side, but he's managing to hold the inside for turn 1. Good move by Uniclark. Does he get it stopped? He does manage to pull it round. Scotty back on board with him through turn 2 up the Marine Sweep now. Andy seems to have pulled out a little bit of breathing room there. Javi and Dauphinio. My God, the battle's going on. Dauphinio into 3rd place. Hell of a job there by our Czech driver. Nice job, but he has Javi and Rome right next to him. He's got no room to make a mistake. Ubar as well on the back end of him, managing to catch him. So these boys fighting and arguing and slowing one another up. Dauphinio currently holding 3rd. Luke now has pulled over 2 seconds to Farnborough. Luke doing a good job in the background there. I think Ubar got it very sideways onto the grass. What's Scotty up to? Scotty and Andy. Looks like Andy still maintained that little gap there. Uniclark also making some moves. Rome now very close to Javi. Cockpit view of the boys going around the carousel. Great shot of Dauphinio getting very squirrely. Javi now up into the kink. Very dangerous place to try and overtake, especially if you're racing side by side. The boys need to be very spatially aware. Through the kink, flat out. Oh, Rome gets it wrong through the kink, but here is ongoing. Ubar's going to be able to catch Javi in the draft of Dauphinio, into the Canadian corner. It's as you were. Dauphinio holding strong in that 3rd position spot. Oh, as I say that, he lost a bit of momentum through there. He's going to have to try and cover the line. Rome all over the back end of him, doing a good job not to make any contact is Rome. Good driving by the new guy out there. Having a really good showing. Good line through there. We'll have go for the cockpit camera. It would seem Dauphinio's got that thing wound up pretty tightly. He's even leaving him in the draft at the minute. Rome still behind these. Ubar caught up with him. Let's take a look aboard with Javi. Dauphinio's definitely got the straight line advantage there. Ken trying to catch up with Uniclark. No easy feat. Ken Boer, American driver. Patience is a virtue. He's got a very old head on his shoulders. He knows when to overtake and he knows when to stay behind. He likes to study the line. Ubar seems to have caught up with Rome. Should be in the draft now, coming up the Marine Sweep. Looks like just in the distance there. Javi's caught up with Dauphinio again, so I'll have a quick look onto the brakes here. Dauphinio there, as I say that, seems to have pulled out a little bit of a gap. So a quick look at Ubar. Was he going to have a go on the brakes? Did the boys get it stopped? Very deep into that corner. Looks like Ubar a lot tighter line though. Rome, slightly on the grass there, losing a bit of traction if anything. Ubar up on his personal best at the minute. Good driving by our Dutch driver there. Javi having a real good outing as he goes very wide through turn 6, I think. We'll get it stopped. Setting up now for the carousel is Javi chasing down Dauphinio. Ubar catching up with the back end of Rome. Now these are going to be so close through here. We'll go cockpit side again. On board with Ubar. Oh, as I say that, it looks like Rome in front got it all sorts of wrong and Ubar had to take evasive action. Good driving by Ubar to not make contact first of all. Andy sitting in P7. Seems to have Scotty all over the back end of him. What is going on with these? Andy's losing positions. He's got going again. Lecky through on track. So Andy, with it all to do again, did qualify P5 into P9 at the minute. Very competitive field. Tro and pit lane Jamie seem to be having a moment. Is that Tro? Tro's going again now. It's good to see. Kembo coming up on our timing boards. Setting a good lap so far. Into Canadian corner. Down into 2nd. Good line, and we've got a couple of cars out in front. Was it Lecky that went wide there? It was. So Lecky back on the track and going again. Ubar now trying to get into the draft of Rome. Javi still trying to chase down Dauphinio. Dauphinio's got a hell of a gap. Good lap by Javi last time around. Uniclark now up the arse end of Lecky. These boys are going to find it out. Drag strip style down the start finish. Good exit there by Uniclark out of turn 11. Really did set him up. Lecky now back into the draft of Uniclark. Uniclark seems to have a good top end on that car. Lecky into the draft though. He's not going to have the bit between his teeth. He's going to want to try and get that position back. But Uniclark holds firm for now. Ubar managing to navigate turn 2 pretty well. Still in sight of Rome there. What's Javi up to? Javi now in sight again of Dauphinio. So Dauphinio still not having it all his own way at the minute. Big fight on. Luke pulling out 7 or 8 seconds to Thornbury Hill, and that's no mean feat. Thornbury Hill, one of a good drivers here, is a good touring car driver. It's good to have him involved in the first Nightlight Series. Javi is a 1/10 up on his best at the minute, chasing down Dauphinia, so all still to play for. Uber seems to have caught up a little bit with the concertina effect. He has, so that's going to be Uber through Rome, getting it all wrong coming round the hurry downs. Really crucial not to put your tyres on the curbs there, very slippy. So Uber through to P5. Uniclark seems to have caught Andy up very quick. And then they're dragging Lecky along. Lecky suffering a tiny bit. Kembo pulling up right onto the back of Lecky now. Oh, as I say that, Kembo has to get off the power. Good save by our American driver. Uniclark with a bit between his teeth will go on board with Uniclark as he enters the carousel. Andy in front. Bit of understeer there. Mind you, looks like Uniclark with a tiny bit of understeer himself. So Andy and Scotty up in front there. Thank you for the comments, guys. Appreciate all the support. Looks like Javi is getting close onto Dauphinia. He's very close. P3, a second in it. What's our driver from Swindon up to? He's currently, a quick lap at the minute, but Andy even closer to Scotty now, so the fight on for 7th position. Andy much tidier through there. Uniclark also with a good line coming through turn 10. Ooh, it looks like Andy managed to carry a lot more speed through there. Looks like Scott is struggling a little bit with grip on that SR3 Radical. Andy now into the draft. He's on board. He's reeling in Scotty up the start-finish. Andy seems to have got that thing wound up for top speed. Pulls out the draft now. We'll go trackside, side by side up the start-finish into turn 1. Andy last time around 8 tenths up, nearly a full second quicker, so Andy finding his accelerator pedal. Looks like Scotty's pulled out. It looks like he was having to go at him. Scotty trying to fight back now. Backing over 7th at the minute. It's as you were into turn 2. Javi now catching way up on the back of Dauphinia. Heavy braking zone into turn 3. They both managed to get it stopped. Oh, it looks like Javi may have outbraked himself. No, manages to do it pretty well. He's got a good run on Dauphinia coming up into turn 4. Does Dauphinia see him on the outside? He does. He delays the steering. Good driving by these boys. Javi up into P3. Dauphinia back on the power again. Let's see if Dauphinia can stick with him. Linsfoot, Uniclark having a grand old battle themselves. Looks like Uniclark's got all sorts of speed in that thing. Good to see. Cockpit view now with Uniclark as they navigate through the hurry downs. Getting into the draft of these things is absolutely crucial up the straights, but you start to lose a little bit of downforce the more you push. Seem to have a flag in the background there. Lecky's off at turn 4 up to the hurry down, so Lecky off. Lecky going again though. He's got Deputy Dog all over the back end of him. Dauphinia seems to have lost a tiny bit of speed and momentum through the kink. Back on it though. Currently 2.5 seconds down on his best, so Dauphinia really needs to find some speed. It looks like Dauphinio's so quick in a straight line. He catches Javi up so fast, but it's going to be difficult to pass around this bit of track. Uniclark side by side. Scotty coming through the kettle bottoms. Will Uniclark get it done on the brakes? He's got the inside for this line, so Scotty maybe have to concede this position just for the time being. Ooh, Scotty goes around the outside. Both give each other the room to race. Still side by side through turn 9. Coming into turn 10. These boys still side by side. Uniclark through into P8. Hell of a move there. The boys were side by side for a few corners. Looks like Dauphinio's catching up. He's side by side with Javi. Dauphinio just drives straight round the outside of him. Dauphinio with a hell of a lap there. 2:15. Good lap by it was Javi. Last time round, Luke with a 2:12. Good lap by Luke. Andy pretty quick there with a 2:14. Kenbo struggling in P10, but managing to put good lap times in. Andy now into turn 1. He's got Scotty up in front, and Scotty has got Uniclark in front of him, so big battle on here for 7th. Bit of a gap up there, another like 5 or 6 seconds to Rome in front. Javi coming up into the braking zone. He's going to want to try and get Dauphinio back, but Dauphinio is so quick in a straight line now. Andy, Linsfoot, Uniclark, all very close to each other as we'll take a quick look on board with Linsfoot. Scotty now. Welsh driver, good line through turn 3, good on the brakes as well. Let's see. Looks like Javi is catching up with Dauphinio. absolutely nothing in it with 5 minutes to go now. Luke's got a considerable advantage over 12 seconds to Thornbury Hill in second, so Luke can sit now and dictate the pace. We will have a quick on board with Luke, who's not got too much run time at the minute, sitting in first with a big gap and a big lead. Good driver, obviously, Luke, our Pro Esports driver, coming into turn 11. This line through there carries so much speed. Back across for another lap of this sprint race. Luke doing a good job. Across the line now. Thornbury Hill just coming through turn 11 now, very wide. He's going to get a slowdown for that, I imagine, penalised. That's a shame to see. That's what I mean by you can throw your full lap away. Javi still chasing down Dafinio. Dafinio, again, very quick in a straight line, so it looks like Javi catches him up in the twisty bits, and then it comes onto the straight, and Dafinio just goes like he's stood still. Quick look at the timings. We've got an accident in turn 2. Accident in turn 2. In sector 2, sorry. Through the hurry downs. The car's going again. Looks like Andy. What is he up to? Andy still with Scotty in sight as they cross the start finish. Cockpit view, Andy in the slipstream is definitely quicker than Scotty in a straight line. Into turn 1 now. Andy really pulling up on the back of him. Comes to the outside. Luke's found out. That leader is found out. Where is Thornbury? Can he see him? We'll go in the cockpit cam. He's only a little bit away, but Luke, our Pro Esports driver from Birmingham, has lost the front end of the car coming through the hurry down. So Thornbury now on the back end of him. 4 seconds the gap is. Luke having it very comfortable, with a good over 10-second gap, but that mistake costing him, but still managing to maintain P1, and he's going again. Andy side by side with Scotty coming through the marine sweep. Andy's going to have the inside corner for the turn 3. Did the boys get it stopped in time? It's alright making the position, but you've got to stay in front. Scotty goes for the cutback. He's going to have the position. Andy runs wide. Scotty back in front again. Must be so frustrating for Andy. He's having the overtakes the guy done at the minute. So, looking round our grid, Luke P1. Thornbury, with a little more encouragement, he's currently 4 tenths down on his best at the minute, so on a slower lap than what he's used to, but some encouragement there for Thornbury Hill sitting in second, that the first place guy is prone to making a mistake, so it's going to be encouraging. But Luke definitely will have his head down now. The game faces on for the last 2 minutes of this race. Rome seems to have caught right up with Uber. Uber concedes the position through the kink, I think. Content to follow. Andy again struggling through turn 2, may have lost a bit of momentum there, but again Andy's fast in a straight line through the kink into Canadian corner now. This is turn 10, so into turn 9, into Canadian corner now. He pulls right up on the back of Scotty. Be interesting to see if Andy can keep on the back end of him as they come up the start finish. Uber not content with 6th place at all. Following Rome round, the new Rubbins Racing driver for today. It's good to have him on board, but Uber having a good outing, our LMP1 mod. Definitely get involved with the other leagues that we've got going here. We have a whole variety of different leagues you can join. We've got the Touring Car Leagues with Lecky and Smithy, the LMP1 League. Uber runs that. It's a great little league. Then we've got our resident GT3 leagues on a Sunday. All ready to vote on. First Night Light Series is what you're watching here. And we may have some news on Kembo's upcoming Ginetta G55 Super Cup Challenge. The first round due at Brands Hatch Indy. Some more information to come on that, but keep plugged on the Discord, guys. Keep your eyes peeled for news and information. Uber losing sight of Rome a little bit. Andy still pulling on the back of Lynn's foot. 1 minute to go. Looks like it's going to be around the 10-lap race. Andy into the draft now. This is where he's going to be quick up the marine sweep. Scotty doing all he can to try and get out the draft of Andy, but it's no mean feat. Andy, very experienced racer. Also one of the resident commentators at Rubbins Racing. He covers a couple of other leagues, so good to see him out on track. Good to see him with his head down, actually racing. Very competitive as Andy when he gets the chance, but also a very good commentator, so it's his kind of curse there as he's chasing him down. Andy on a good lap. Coming through the hurry down section. Tricky section to get right this. The curbs like to throw you off. Andy seems to have the advantage at the minute, but we'll still see. Where is Luke out on track? As I say that, Andy's caught right up onto the back of Lynn's foot into turn 6. It's as you were though. Luke coming through turn 11 now, so I believe next lap is going to be the last lap of the race. We're going to have another lap, I imagine. Look across the start finish. Actually, it might be close this, you know. That might be the end. Yeah, it was. End lap. So these boys all on their end lap. Thornbury across the line. Good finish in the end by him. P2. Good race by him. Good to see him out on track. Dafinho managing to hold P3 coming into turn 11. That SR3 that Dafinho's got in his hands at the minute has got all sorts of top speed pace. Good to see our mod out on track there. Representing the Rubbings Racing team. Good outing by Dafinho. Good to see him going strong. Javi now, new driver to our league across the line, P4. Well done, guy. And then we've got Rome, who closely followed by Ubar in the end. I imagine, yeah, it's going to be as he were. So Rome across in P5, Ubar in P6. Uniclark looks like he's going to bring it home in P7. Good points by Uniclark. Struggled a little bit at the start of the race, got kicked off. Andy across the line. Andy manages to do Scotty out. Sorry I missed that one. Andy manages to get that position done in the end. Lecky in a top 10 position though. Good. He did start in P13, seems to be struggling a little bit with these guys, but across the line, P10. Good driving by our touring car ace. Kembo across the line, our resident American driver, coming across the line, coming across in P11. Not much of that front end left on that car. There we go, we have got our positions, so I will call the boys out in the next race, one by one, and it will be a reverse style grid race. So boys, to go. Thank you on YouTube, everyone, from sticking with us while we get the feature race underway. We had a hell of a sprint race, so after a bit more of the same, we've got a bit of a different start here. Reverse grid from race 1, so all the fast guys will be at the back making their way through the grid. They will sit behind the safety car, which is me, for the first lap. I will call them out one by one. They'll all form up and we will go around the track until I'm happy everybody's ready. Kembo will lead the field away. He will have till obviously turn 11 till the start finish to go. He gets to dictate the pace. Obviously he will let all the cars come around turn 11, the last corner, before he does start putting his foot down. Everyone will be side by side, but the boys will all be getting ready for the 20 lap race. They'll be getting the fuel loads sorted out, their pit stop strategies, as there is a mandatory pit stop in this race. So make sure you boys have all got that sorted. Thank you ever so much, people on YouTube, for joining us for our Road America race. This is round 1 of the Thursday Night Lights series. These boys all now navigating Canada Corner, coming from turn 10. These boys will all be side by side right now. So these boys, side by side. Let's take a look back through the fields now. All side by side. Hopefully, all in staggered formation. That's good to see. All the boys at the back behaving themselves too. Looks like Luke swapped over. Looks like, yeah, sorted. So, Kenbo, up the start finish now. It'll be him leading the field away. And he's got until the start finish. All the boys in good proximity to one another. Looks like we're going to get this underway with no problems. Kembo now coming up towards the finishing line, so he's going to have to go soon if he's going at all. Let's have a look. He's going. We got green light here on our feature race. Feature race, green light. Let's see how the boys are back there. Bit of a bad camera angle. We've got Uniclark, Ubar, Rome all side by side. All the boys at the back very close to each other. 3 will not go around turn 1, so looking at Rome. Outdid himself a little bit. Dafinho on the outside there. Does he get it pulled back? I think so. Lecky into P1. Deputy behind him. Looks like Scotty's having a go on the outside there. We've got a car backwards. Ubar and Andy fighting over position. Scotty losing a bit of momentum there. All the boys keeping it clean through turn 1 up the Marine sweep. Very fast coming through these boys now. Let's go and have a quick on board. It'll be manic down the pit here. These boys all now flat out coming into turn 3. Heavy braking zone, so we'll get to see if the boys manage to get it stopped properly in time. Onto the brakes. Ooh, somebody sideways in the background. Not sure who that was, but there was some contact there. Ooh, somebody else going very sideways. Who is that? It's Multiverse. Multiverse losing the back end a little bit. Managing to pull it back round Rome. Pit lane Jamie and Dafinho having a bit of a mare. Lecky now pulling a bit of a gap to the boys back there. Uber and Scotty side by side for a second. Looking well. Who is that? It's Deputy. Deputy is taking that position, I think. As I say that, Thornbury keeps it on the outside. He managed to keep the momentum, but he's going to lose that spot. And Deputy very wide. That forces Luke from back of the grid, literally up into P4. Our pro esports driver from Birmingham doing a hell of a job. Lecky holding P1 still. Quick look back at the boys through here. What's Kembo up to for the cockpit cam as we see all the boys up in towards the kink. Multiverse, Dafinho for company. Dafinho very quick through the kink. Good line. Uniclark now following those trainer cars through. Looks like Dauphinio's got that position done. Good driving. Leckie now. Uber for company, Scotty behind him, but Leckie managing to pull a bit of a gap. Him and Uber pulling 2 seconds to the rest of the field, so all still to play for. Leckie, our pro touring car driver, one of the mods here at Rubbins Racing, leading the race. Good to see him out. We're in a good position at the minute. Only 1 lap down though. Well, lap 2, coming up on lap 3. Leckie pulling right out of the draft. A couple of cars side by side here. Looks like Thornbury and Scotty there for a second. Looks like Thornbury's got the position done though. Scotty gonna have to concede. Where's Rome in all this? Rome still following up. Dauphinio behind him. Kembo and pit lane Jamie. Oh, the boys all sorts of sideways, side by side coming in from turn 1. Kembo pulls in behind pit lane Jamie onto the brakes. Kembo gets a little wrong. I think pit lane Jamie wasn't expecting him to go that slow. It looks like Multiverse has got that position two on the outside. Who might even take pit lane Jamie here. Pit lane Jamie covers the line though. Good racing by the boys. Back up at front. Uber seems to be under threat. Luke from the back of the grid now, hassling Uber up into the heavy braking zone in turn 3. Looks like he's going to try and do 2 positions at once. Is he onto the brakes? Does he get it stopped? What a move by our Pro Esports driver. Jesus, he's carried some right momentum through. Leckie, P2, but he does have Uber breathing down his neck. Leckie covers the line, good driving. Uniclark being hassled from the back a little bit by Rome. What's Dauphinio up to? Dauphinio still with these trainer cars. All these cars within 4 seconds of the lead each other. Multiverse and Kembo seem to be having a bit of a to do on track. Kembo's got that position for the time being. Thornbury now coming up onto the carousel. We will go on up and on board. Cockpit view coming around the carousel. We'll see who's got the speed. Looks like Uber understeering. Pulls it back across the line. Thornbury had to get out a little bit of it. Leckie's struggling as well. What's Rome up to? Dauphinio chasing him down. It looks like Uniclark has got... Oh, Scotty, all sorts of sideways. So Uniclark into the kink. Hopefully these boys see each other. They do. Uniclark, P5. Scotty's struggling with grip at the minute. Our Welshman from Swansea, really struggling. It looks like Rome's going to have a go at this too. Rome past the hurry. Oh, it's not. It's through into Canada corner. Rome on the outside. He's going to have the inside that position done. Good move by them. Leckie, P4 now. Going backwards a little bit is our Pro Touring car driver. Thornbury now really on the arse end of Uber. Our LMB1 Pro driver. Also hosts the leagues on the Saturday. Should definitely get involved with that. Oh, Thornbury very quick out there. Don't think he was expecting Uber to be so slow out that corner. And as he opened himself up, Leckie on the outside now. Leckie P3. What a race so far by these boys. Uber seems to have a bit of top end, but Leckie's going to have the inside for turn 1. Hopefully these boys managed to get it stopped. Good lap last time round by Leckie. 6 tenths up on his best. Leckie still holding the inside to the corner, so Thornbury I think's better of it. Gets out of it, sets himself up again. Leckie all sorts of sideways. He's going to have to cover the line into turn 2. He does, but it looks like Thornbury's got the position done. He lost a lot of momentum there, did Leckie. Unlucky. Dauphinio now really hassling the back end of Roma. New to the Women's Racing League. Had a good outing last time out. Dauphinio has that thing very, very fast in a straight line. Quick cockpit view. Rome's doing his best to get out of the draft. Dauphinio trying to get out within that bubble there to help him along. Onto the brakes into turn 3. Looks a little far out, but he's going to have a dive on him. He's showing him the inside. Dauphinio, our Czech driver from Olomouc, he's just trying to get a reaction out of Rome, seeing if he can get him to brake a bit deeper or a bit later into a corner and compromise his line. Up front, Leckie. Uber and Uniclark all so close to one another. Cockpit view of Leckie as they come through the Hurry Downs. Through turn 5. Ooh, Uber gets it wrong. On the outside though, Leckie. Let's have a look. Gets it done. Leckie, P3. These positions swapping and changing all the time. Good driving by Leckie, but a bit further behind Uniclark. Sorry about that. Cockpit view of him going around the carousel. Very famous corner. Looks like Uniclark's got it very much under control around there. Uber very sideways, but managing to catch the back end of the car. Through the kink. Does Leckie see him? I think he does. Just Leckie delays his steering. That's a wise head on his shoulders. Uniclark with a good run through the kettle bottom corner. He's pulled out on the outside of Leckie into the Canada corner. He's going to have the position done. Leckie thinks better of it. Oh, Leckie's carrying a bit more momentum through there. Leckie not content to give 4th position away by any means. These boys still side by side coming through turn 10. Leckie holding position. Uniclark hassling Leckie, hassling him like crazy. See what sort of run that Uniclark gets out the corner. Good exit by the boys. Uniclark getting stuck on the rail a little bit. Scotty's still in contention. And that's Rome, sorry. Rome, Dauphinio, all the boys there. Very much close to each other. Scotty following the pack up. Keep on board with Lecky. Good lap last time round by Lecky. 1 to 2.17. Luke, class of the field with a 2.17. He's already pulled a 6-second gap while these boys argued over position. Still early doors yet. Luke did make a mistake in the first race, so this is not finished by any means. Lecky with Ubar in his sights. Through turn 2 from the Marine Suite now. Up the straight. Can Lecky get in the draft? Let's go on board with Lecky. British driver from Manchester in the draft, and Ubar seems to still be pulling out a bit of a gap. Ubar with a straight line and speed advantage. Seems to have a slower car up front there as well as... That's Farmer. It was. He must have made a mistake somewhere, and Ubar gets it wrong, clips the back of him, but the boys managed to keep it in a straight line. Thank God for that. Ubar getting it wrong on the brakes there. Thornbury, though, very lucky to be in that position still. Whereas Lecky still on the back end of these boys. This has been a good shot of these boys coming through the carousel. Uniclark on the back end now. So any mistake by any of these guys and they're ready to pounce. Oh, Lecky pulls out. I thought he was going to have a go into turn 6 there. Go on board with Uniclark as they come into the carousel. Lecky covers the line a little bit, comes back across as he compromised himself with the carousel. Uniclark has a little bit of a look, but be a brave guy to make a move there. Looks like Uniclark's got that all under control at the carousel. Lecky loses a bit of momentum there. Side by side coming into the kink. Lecky season. Good driving by these boys. So Lecky seems to be having to go back. Yeah, Uniclark's got a lot of speed in that car. Lecky currently nearly 2 seconds up on his best. So a good lap so far by Lecky. It stopped Ubar onto the brakes. Must be encouraging from our Dutch driver there from Genève, seeing that Thornbury is just in front of him, managing to keep with him. We're into lap 5 of this 20-minute feature race. Up to start finish. It looks like Thornbury's taking his pit stop, so first to blink I think is Thornbury. Yes he is. All the rest of the boys coming across. Will anybody else follow suit? Lecky up to start finish. What's Rome up to? Dauphinio and Rome side by side. Rome pulls back into the draft. Dauphinio, of course, very fast in a straight line. I think it's going to be as you were into the first corner, but Rome has a little look at him. A little look at Dauphinio. Uniclark, though, in P3 podium spot, hunting down Ubar. Thornbury into the pits, so these boys all need to make at least one pit stop this race, so the positions will sort themselves out again once they all make their stops. We'll get to see where everyone else is out on track, but at the minute, it would seem that Uniclark and Ubar are going to fight it out for second place coming up into the turn 3. Heavy braking zone. It looks like Ubar covered the line. He does, but he runs very wide. Uniclark runs wide too, so both the boys making a bit of a mistake there. Looks like Rome and Dauphinio also, Rome just a bit sideways, so Dauphinio with a bit of room to breathe. Catching up with Lecky. Lecky very sideways coming through the Hui Downs. He's going to lose that spot too. That's a shame to see. Lecky going down the order. Currently P5 though, with Rome breathing down his neck too. It's like Lecky's covered the line a little bit. Driving. Kembo and Andy fighting on track as well. Andy last time around with a 2:15, faster than the guys in front of him, so be encouraging for resident commentator here at Rubbins Racing. Good to have him out on track. Good to see him racing wheel to wheel with the boys. Rome and Lecky still very close. Uniclark not content at all with P3, but it does look like Ubar's pulled a bit of a gap, bit of breathing room, and in the background there, Dauphinio and Lecky, followed by Rome, all very close to one another, all to make the pit stops, of course. Into Canada corner. Dauphinio, a little squiggly on the exit of the corner, but manages to keep it in check. All encouraging signs for Lecky following behind. Ken looks ever closer to Andy, a little on board with him, see what that gap's like. Going into the Constantine effect, but Ken is within a second now of Andy, let's see. Currently fighting over 10th position. It looks like somebody else is diving into the pit. We've got Lecky, Dauphinio and Ubar all into the pit. I think Kenvo's jumped into the pit too, or Scotty has. Yep, these boys all into the pit. So that was kind of released Luke, Uniclark and Andy a little bit. Luke with a 15-second lead As I say that, just extended to 16, so Luke really on a tear at the minute, setting in 2:11 lap times. Quick driver at the minute. Uni Clark with a 2:16, 5 seconds off the pace, but is holding down second position, and he has got a considerable gap to Andy. It's nearly a 10-second gap that he's got, so looks like Thornberry's out of the pits. Don't get a very good view of that. No, he wasn't in the pit. Looked like Ubar or someone else is coming out of it. So Thornberry, he of course made his pit stop, sitting in P4 at the minute. Definio, I think, has just come out the pit. Kembo as well, coming out the pit. Lecky there too. It does look like that's Rome and Linsfoot pretty close together. Scotty there in the background. All these boys, the tyres very cold at the minute. As I see that, Ken getting very wide. Our American driver hitting the wall through turn 1, but gets it going again. He's going to have Lecky up the inside of him. Lecky makes the move stick. Ken, cold tyres coming out the pit. It's a tricky one when you sat there because your tyres are getting cold. And I say that, Ken's got the momentum out of turn 2. Side by side, these guys. See who's got the straight line speed. It looks like Ken's managed to make the move stick. He has. Lecky pulls in back around now. Ken looks fast in the straight line. Definitely has the advantage. Even in the draft, Lecky struggling a little bit. Lecky with two tyres there, touching the outside curb, lucky not to throw that one away. Good driving though. Lecky still on the arse end of it. Scotty and Rome fighting over position. Very brightly coloured livery cars there in the Radical SR3s. Quick on board with Luke, our man from Birmingham. Setting ridiculously good lap times. 1:11 last time round, 1:11.7. What's it this time round? 1:11.2. Hell of a lap. I think that was the fastest lap of the race. It was indeed. Good lap by Luke. Fastest in Sector 2, fastest in Sector 3. Luke setting lap records at the minute. Good to see him out there. 20 seconds has managed to pull to Uniclar as Scotty is getting apparently closer to Rome through the carousel. Lecky just in front of these two as well. What's Duffino up to under the Concertina effect? So Scotty chasing down Rome and Lecky in front, be encouraging. Uniclark into the pit. It looks like he's just coming into the pit too. All these boys fighting still. Lecky giving up a bit of straight line speed down this section of the track through the kettle bottoms into Canada Corner. I'll tell you what, Rome looks very strong around this section of the track, and as I say that, he goes wide, loses a bit of momentum. That's going to be encouraging for Scotty behind him. Is Uniclark going again? He is. So where is Thornberry? Thornberry's going to have that position done. Where is Ubar? Ubar across the start finish. It's going to be close between these guys. Take a look on the right hand side. Oh, just Definio's got that position done. No, Ubar, sorry, he's got the position done. Definio not too far behind, but Ubar at P4. Good driving. It looks like Scotty and Rome are very close again. Up the start finish now. Scotty into the draft. Lecky trying to get out of the draft there as well. He's, like I said, giving up that straight line speed advantage. Oh, Lecky pulls out wide. So no slow down there, but he's lucky to keep it on track. Scotty showing Rome the inside, but a little far out at the minute. Rome obviously charging down Lecky. We'll keep the cockpit view, see what it's like. It looks like Scotty had the better exit there, but Scotty not in the draft at the minute. Rome trying to stick with Lecky. Look at the closing speed on that car. Look at how fast he is. 143, 144. Coming up into turn 3 onto the brakes. Did they get it stopped in time? It's alright being that fast, but you've got to stop the car. And it looks like Lecky had a lot more speed coming through that corner. Slight touch by the boys. Maybe Lecky caught out a tiny bit with the braking zones of Rome. I don't think it was intentional, but Lecky giving up another position. Scotty now on the back end of Rome. Lecky just losing out a little bit on the brakes there. Caught out a little bit, but Lecky's still sticking with these boys. Scotty into turn 6. They're doing a hurry down. It's very clean through that section of the track. Scotty on the inside. Rome sees him, delays the steering, good driving. Lecky now, will he have a piece of the pie? He's trying around the outside of the carousel. Great camera shot. Has to get out of it a little bit as Rome goes a little slower. Now it's Lecky up the inside for the carousel. What a move! What a move. They'll be side by side for the kink. Lecky losing a bit of straight line speed advantage, so hopefully these boys see one another. It looks like they did. Rome at the last second delayed his steering. Bit of caught out there. It should have been a bit more spatially aware. Lecky had the position done on track. Uniclark catching up with Ubar. Quick roof shot of these two as they come up to start finish now. It looked like Ubar were going to dart into the pit there. Just trying to get out of the way of the draft. Does look like Uniclark is advancing. Lecky's still chasing down Scotty. Looks a bit closer this time round. Through turn 11, see what sort of lines they are. Scotty a bit sideways, loses a lot of momentum. Lecky again slow in a straight line, but in the draft now. Looks like Scotty's deciding which line he's going to defend. Lecky out at the draft now, struggling with a bit of momentum, but looks like Scotty's just edging front. He has. Lecky get back in the draft, or is he going to try it onto the brakes into turn 1? He's back in the draft. Back out the draft. He's going to have a go under the brakes into turn 1. He does. Good driving by Scotty, who sees him, delays it a little bit, tries to cut back. Great driving by the boys here. Coming into turn 2, Lecky defends the line. Looks like Lecky's got that position done. Can he carry the momentum through? He does. Good line by Lecky. Gets out the draft straight away. Uniclark on the back end of Definio now. Both of them very wide through there. I think Uniclark following Ubar's line and going slightly wide, but Uniclark very, very close to the back of him. Scotty and Linfoot through the marine sweep. Sorry, Scotty and Lecky covers the inside into turn 3. Good driving by Lecky. It's hard to pass a car, especially if it's on the inside. Linfoot, Scotty does look like he can take a little bit of a tighter line. Lap 10, halfway through, race distance. Scotty riding his luck a little bit on the corner there with the bumps that come out. They like to spin you around. Uniclark forever closer onto the back of him. Stick on board with Scotty though. Quick roof cam shot. Get to see the boys through the carousel. Scotty going around the carousel in 3rd gear. Feathering the throttle a little bit. Both these two look a little bit loose as they exit the carousel. Up into the kink. Lecky may be losing a bit of momentum there. Struggled the last couple of corners of the carousel to keep the momentum through the kink. So Scotty closing right up on the back end of him. Lecky covers the line. Scotty on the outside into the Canada corner. See what these boys can do. Side by side. It's going to be hard to pass him. Scotty tries to do the undercut. Lecky's got the momentum. It's as you were. Uniclark really hassling the back end of Ubar now in the draft. He's definitely catching him, creeping. Ubar tries to break the draft. He's going to cover the line into turn 1. Ubar's going to be compromised through turn 2 though. What does Uniclark do? Tries to set him up. Turn 1. Get the momentum through there. Ubar does a good job. Turn 2, it looks like Scotty's also in the draft with Lecky. Lecky hugging the pit lane wall there, close as you like. Into turn 1 now. Lecky's going to hold the inside line for it. The boys racing very hard. Lecky onto the brakes. Looks like he's going to have the position done still. He covers it. Does Lecky a little bit wide. Loses a bit of momentum, but good racing by the boys. Good respect shown by our Pro Touring Car driver and our Welsh driver Scotty. Uniclark side by side. Uber. Ooh, as I say that, it was so close coming onto the brakes at turn 3. It's so difficult when you're following a car that close, so the boys did well to get it stopped. Uniclark P4, Ubar P5. Can Ubar, our Dutch driver from Dreef, answer back? Looks like he's losing a bit of momentum. Luke into the pit, Luke into the pit. He's not boxed up yet, so Andy, 28 seconds behind. Andy jumping up the order there. I suspect he may need to make a pit stop. Ubar getting closer. Rome now and Linfoot. Wow, they're so close to one another. On board with Scotty. Oh, he seems to have lost the back end coming down the Hooey Downs. He did so well to keep the car in check. Thank you all for your comments, love and support on the YouTube channel. Scotty might be under threat from Rome behind. We know that Rome's a very fast driver to round the carousel. Scotty pushes wide understeer with that SR3 Radical. He's definitely a factor. I'm just wondering how much that Scotty's struggling with the draft, losing a little bit of downforce. All about setup. Lecky doing a good job to hold on to position. Uniclark now hassling Ubar like crazy, coming up into turn 11. Ubar doing a good job to cover the line. I didn't realise the position would change. Ubar's going to lose a lot of momentum. Uniclark gets the position back. Massive fight on for 4th and 5th. Uniclark doing a real good job. Ran Ubar wide there. Ubar had to cover the line coming into turn 11 very tighter, so he compromised his exit. Good driving by the boys. Rome, Scotty, very close to one another still. Looks like Luke is pulling up on Andy. Yeah, that'll be P1 done. Luke. Bags and bags of speed, but of course Luke 225, that was his outlap on the pit lane, so I wouldn't read too much into that. So Luke up to provisional P1 and has made his pit stop, so it's down to these boys now to find their feet. Ubar and Uniclark still arguing over the bit of track. Looks like Rome and Scotty down the pit straight. Scotty looking at the front, at the end of the back end of Lecky's car there, trying to figure out what's the best way to get around that brightly coloured SR3 Radical. At the minute, it's as you were, but we know that Lecky's struggling in a straight line. These boys navigating the Maria sweep through the tunnel, over the bridge, down into the heavy braking zone. It looks like Lecky's got that. He's got a good enough of a advantage, cushion, if you will, to not be under threat. Uber and Uniclark still fighting real hard between themselves. Only half a second in it between the boys here. We will go cockpit view with Uber as they navigate the carousel. Uniclark in front of him. That back end twitching around a little bit, but Uber looks like he's struggling in the dirty air a little bit with downforce. Boys very clean though around that section of track. Looks like Lecky's gone back a little bit. Side by side, a little bit of contact between the boys, so heads down, going again. Lecky now with Rome and Scotty in his sight. Lecky with a lot better line this time through the carousel up into the kink. Again, Lecky, our pro touring car driver, has his league on a Tuesday night, touring car league. Got some great tracks coming up, definitely get involved in that. Then we have a new league coming up, our Ginetta G55 Super Cup Challenge, hopefully getting sorted out on a Friday night through our Marshall, Ken Burr, to have him running the league. And then we come to Saturday night where we've got Ubar's LMP1 League, trackside, Lecky fighting again, LMP1 League on a Saturday, and Sunday we have our resident GT3 League, very popular league. Everyone's welcome to get involved if you're on the platform. Lecky getting very sideways out of turn 11 but catches it. Good driving by Lecky. I emphasise enough for you all to get involved with the league. There'll be a link in the Discord. If you're not already, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, it helps us massively. Massive thanks to all the members of staff too. Give them a good shout out with Definio, Demobi, Lecky, Andy, Ken Boy, Smithy, the console and Uber. A lot of work being done behind the scenes to ensure that this league survives. We have a lot of racing still yet to come. We also have our Dash for Cash races coming up where you can all get involved and win prizes and PSNs. Keep an eye out on the Discord for the announcement coming up for that. Like I said, links will be in the description. You're all welcome to join. There's no sign-up fee. It's totally 100% free. All we ask is that you are clean drivers, and it looks like Rome's going to have a go. Round the inside into turn 3. Look, Rome's carrying so much speed. Will he get it stopped? It doesn't look like he did. Oh, did he? Bad camera angle there, but Rome on the brakes. That was something rather impressive there. Rome taking 2 positions. So Rome very, very good on the brakes now. Lecky still trying to follow these boys. He's definitely got the pace around the corners. Thank you so much for the comments. We'll just have a quick check on that. Thank you, Hark Apple Pie, the console, Tuggy Bear. Thank you for joining, supporting the channel. Appreciate it massively. These boys giving us a real good show tonight. On board with Scotty now as he navigates the carousel. Great shot of these cars as they come round here. It looks like Rome's really, really struggling with understeer now as the laps go down. 13 laps underway. Scotty with a much better drive out the carousel through the kink. Will he make a move coming through the kettle bottom section of track? I think he has. Side by side, the boys are giving each other the room to race through the kettle bottom. We're coming up onto turn 9, Canada corner. This is where it counts. Scotty's on the outside. Looks like Rome's got a good straight line speed advantage. Looks like Scotty's just going to slot him behind Rome for now. He is. Fighting going on. Multi. Yeah, it is. That is Multiverse and Tro. Good to see. No, Tro's right at the back there. Must have had a poor one. So we've got Multiverse, Lecky and Scotty all within each other. Battle on. All racing all over the field. Oh, Lecky gets it wrong coming out of the turn 11. Again manages to save the car, but he's going to have Multiverse all over the back end of him. Lecky goes defensive already. Looks like Multiverse is just going to drive around the outside of Lecky. Lecky's still giving up a lot of straight line speed. Lecky gets back into the draft. Pulls out. Multiverse seeing they do give each other the space. They knew where each other were. Good driving. Rome now catching on the back end of Scotty. These boys have been fighting the whole entire race through turn 2. Good lines by all the guys. We'll have a quick run down the order. Luke currently on lap 13, about to come off to lap 14. What can you say? One of the few lads on tracks that's currently setting 2 minute 12 laps. Fortbrook is setting that kind of speed. Next one up, sort of Duffinio setting very quick lap times, but Duffinio currently sitting in P7. Rome seems to be catching again on the back end of Scotty. Then we have third place, Uniclark. Doing a good job at the minute, great point scoring position, had a real nightmare of the sprint race, so good to see him doing well. Ubar in the background, not too far off these guys. Kembo, our resident American driver, got to El Durant after him in 5th place at the minute. He did start this race in 3rd, but it's gone down the order, but managing to keep a good position. He's got 6 seconds back to Andy, our local commentator, who just in the background there you can see Duffinio. Duffinio has that thing so fast in a straight line as Duffinio gets sideways through the kink. Good save. Duffinio, the half a second down on his best at the minute. Rome and Scotty still fighting with one another. In the background you can see Multiverse and Lecky too. It's like Lecky struggling now with the grip of the car. Lap 14, loop through turn 1. Multiverse on the back end of Lecky. Quick on board with Multiverse, not have too much run time sat at the back there, but in the draft now. And some racing under his belt. Lecky goes defensive. Both of them manage to get it stopped coming into Canada corner. They do. Lecky maintains the position. Rome and Scotty very close to one another. See what sort of lines they both take for it. Looks like, if anything, Scotty goes a little defensive before the corner just to make sure that it doesn't pounce. And there we go, Rome, very wide. Very wide. Lecky's sort of follows suit as well, so very lucky by the boys. Looks like Scotty's got some room to breathe now. Multiverse very close though to Lecky into the draft. Lecky goes defensive at the start finish, side by side the boys are. Great shot of the lads coming past the pit lane into turn 1. Lecky comes off a little bit at the throttle, but Multiverse has run very wide. The boys going to give each other room, they have done. Multiverse very sideways there. Lecky on the inside of Multiverse into turn 2. Do they see each other? They do. Good racing by the boys. Lecky gives plenty of room to Multiverse. Good respect shown through the field here. These boys are side by side still. Up the marine sweep. Up through the tunnel, still side by side. Looks like Multiverse might have got the position done on track theoretically, but there's only still a bonnet in it between the two. Coming up to turn 3. Important to get the car stopped. Lecky swings back out. Turn 3. Lecky. Ooh, did they get it stopped? They do. Both of them managing to give each other the room to race. If anything, Multiverse has got it a bit squiggly. Lecky's got the inside line coming into turn 4. Multiverse is going to have to concede the position. He does. Great driving by the boys. Great driving. Coming up the hurry downs now. Lecky maintaining that P10 position. Top 10 is going to want to try and keep hold of that. Into turn 6. Coming up onto the carousel. See how Multiverse looks coming through the carousel here. Lecky for company. Takes a much tighter line, does Multiverse around the carousel. Lecky been struggling with the exit to keep the speed up a little bit, but Multiverse fighting the back end the entire time around the carousel. Duffinio catching up with Andy. That gap has dropped and then some. Duffinio on an absolute charge at the minute. Our Czech driver from Olomouc doing a great job. Also, Duffinio, part of the Rubbins Racing team. Big shout out to the members of the staff that have took the time tonight to come and join us. Luke now with a 16-second gap. Looks like Multiverse is closing in a little bit on Lecky. The boys entering the kettle bottom section of track. No, my bad. No, they're not. Just coming up onto end the lap, so lap 15. On board with Duffinio. Once the camera sorts itself out, go back. Duffinio wide. Multiverse at the start finish. Sort of speed the SR3 has in it with Multiverse. Lecky obviously opted for a bit more downforce, and it looks like a guy in front. Who is that going slowly? Somebody off to the side. The boys are going to have to give each other the room here. Lecky compromised a little bit into there. It was Tro coming out of the way there, but Lecky a little compromised coming through that bit of track. It's just the way they were set up, so good driving by the boys. Still it all to do. Duffinio now coming up into turn 3. Heavy braking zone. Careful not to get any of the tyres on the outside. Andy under real threat now for P6. Lecky chasing down Multiverse. Multiverse very quick in a straight line. See how quick these boys catch up to the back end of Rome and Linsfoot. Looks like Duffinio really hassling Andy now. Physically see the gap is at just under a second. Be interesting to watch Andy's line through the carousel. Definio, as neat as you like through turn 6. Both the boys into carousel. Andy a bit of a wider line. Maybe struggling a little bit. Definio sideways. Is he caught it again? No, he doesn't. Yellow flag. Oh, Definio with one of the saves of the season there, coming through the carousel, but lost a lot of time. Good driving to keep it actually pointing in the right direction and holding that slide. Goes to show some of the quality that these boys have in the background. Lecky and Multiverse still very close to one another. Into the carousel. These boys within a bumper of each other at all times. It goes to show you just the quality that we've got throughout the leagues that we have here at Rubbins Racing. Great driving when we give each other the room to race. We can afford to have close battles like this one. It's great, it's fun to watch. It's an honour to commentate to. Andy and Kemba, what's happening? Did Kemba looks, I don't know what's going on. He lost a lot of momentum coming through turn 11. Definio now is next up. He's going to have the momentum. Look at Definio go. He's going to swallow Kemba up coming up the start finish. Kemba getting it wrong out of turn 11. Back into the draft though is Kemba. Definio really fast in a straight line up into turn 1. Lecky and Multiverse very close to one another again. Multiverse quick in a straight line. Multiverse braking way off to the side there to try and get out of the draft. What's Kemba up to? Kemba missing the front end of his radical there. Hopefully not affecting him too much when it comes to downforce. Up the straight here, we'll go cockpit view. We know Definio's rapid in a straight line, so Definio has Andy up next, but he has been close to Andy before, and he lost the back end of the car, managed to save it coming through the carousel. Lecky a lot closer now into turn 2. Good line by Lecky through there, managed to keep a lot of the momentum, but Multiverse pretty quick. These boys coming up the Marine Suite now. Across the bridge. Lecky managing to keep in the draft, so not losing too much time. Into 6. Heavy braking zone coming up into turn 3. Did the Murph manage to get it stopped? Lecky being fantastic on the brakes here all day, made some great moves. Kemba and Definio. Very quick. I think Lecky may have gone a bit sideways. He definitely has. Lecky gets going again. It's a shame. Lecky really giving us a show with Multiverse there. Kemba, P7 chasing down Definio. Seems to have caught a little bit onto Definio. Saying Definio very fast in a straight line. But that gap still at around a second. On board with Luke on lap 17. As he winds up to go up the Marine Suite. Let's have an on board with Luke as he comes up the long straight we have here to further see what sort of speed he's doing by the time he gets into the braking zone at 4th. 138, 141, 143, 44, 45. Does he get it stopped? 145 miles per hour up the Marine Straight. I mean, that is impressive to see. Twanbury now. Let's have a quick on board with him, see what sort of speed he's doing. Can he match Luke down the straight? Luke very fast down that bit of track. Yeah, it looks like Twanbury is revved up more for downforce. Tops out 141 miles per hour, so Luke with a little bit of an advantage. And just on the radio there, it looks like Twanbury had a little bit of an off, a little bit of an accident. Kemba. Definio in front. Does he save it? He's going again. Yellow flag turn 1, but Definio's got going again. Kemba rubbing his hands there. Very patient driver. Sat behind him. Realised that Definio's struggling towards the back end of this race now. Tyres going off a little bit, but Definio going again. Scotty some way off, so Definio got that position covered for now. But Scotty not having it all his own way. He has Rome for company in the background. Good driving by these boys. So Tro still going on out on track. Good to have him part of the Thursday Night Light series. Struggling a little bit with the back end. Not much run time. 6 tenths down on his personal best, so good to see him going still. Lecky, P11. Had a bit of a tough one. It's given some fantastic racing this time out. Of course, Lecky, last time out, looking to improve really, but not having his own way at the minute. He had a poor outing in Suzuka. Looking to bounce back. There's been flashes of brilliance from our British driver from Manchester. Hopefully, we can see a bit of a stronger showing for the guy next time out. Rome seems to have caught up on the back end. Yeah, there's a concertina effect there, so Linton Scotty still holding the position. Lap 18 for Luke, 2 more laps to go, and this race feature, round 1 of the Thursday Night Light series, will be done. But all still to play for. Luke did make a mistake in the first sprint race, so it's not done with yet. The guy needs to keep it out on track, although he has got 21 seconds as he's coming up the marine sweep. So Luke can start to dictate the pace a little bit. He doesn't need to go flat out, as it were, but I know Luke personally, and I know he'll be setting time trial records every single lap. There's no let up in Luke at all. He's a racer at heart, and every lap will be a time attack, even if it's a detriment to him. Last time around, 2:11, nobody on track anywhere near that sort of pace. Uniclark 2:14, Dauphinio 2:14. Luke very tidy through that section of track. Rome seems to be coming up on the timing boards again. They come through turn 10 into turn 11. Not too many laps left of this race now. The boys all very close to one another, won't have too much more time to get it done. So Rome, Scotty very close on track. Lecky only 4 or 5 seconds back to Multiverse, trying to make that time back up. It's going to be difficult. Uniclark's got 10 seconds to Uber. Andy, resident commentator of the Rubbins Racing Leagues, coming up the marine sweep now. Great to see him again out on track. Of course, Andy, a Marshall mod on the Rubbins Racing team. So he's usually sat where I am in the commentary box calling the races, but this time out he's out on track and having a lot better showing. P5, good point scoring position for our staff of Rubbins Racing there. Good to see him. Ubar again, he's P4. Andy on a good lap at the minute. He's got relatively a bit of clean air. He is trying to catch up with Ubar, but he has him in his sights every now and again. Let's have an on-board with Andy. Does he see Ubar at the bottom? He does. You can see that gap there, so it'll give Andy the encouragement with 2 laps to go. Let's have a look where Luke is. Luke winding up for lap 19 now across the line. 2:11.9 last time round. Down on his best though. Bit of a slower lap, but not by any means for the rest of the drivers, but by his standards. A bit off his best there. Luke, lap 19, 1.5 laps to go. These boys still close. Looks like Rome's caught really up with Scotty now. Scotty, I think, struggling towards the back end of this race with grip, along with Dauphinio, but there's some racing going on. It doesn't matter where you are on the track here with the Rubbins Racing team. There are always racing going on, no matter what position it's for. In the cockpit of Rome, as he navigates the carousel, Scotty takes another bite at trying to get round. That's 4 bites there of the car kicking out on him and having to correct the steering. So good driving by our Welsh driver from Swansea, not letting up that P8 position. Rome, first time out, as close as you like through the kink, managing to keep it off the bump there. Likes to throw you around. Rome, last time round, coming up into sector 3, is 4 tenths up on his personal best. He is on an absolute flyer. We'll keep an eye on that fight, but I he's got the run on him. I do want to have a look at Luke, our Pro Esports driver from Birmingham. So not too much run time. He's kind of run away with it a little bit, managed to get the rub of the green, not slowed up too much. Take a look at the cockpit camera. Scotty tries to get out the draft. Rome back in it. Up to start finish. Will Rome have a go into turn 1? Is Scotty going to defend the line? Nope. So Rome up on the inside. Good lap by Rome. Rome on the inside for turn 1. Will Scotty have a go back? He doesn't. Let's keep with it. The boys keeping it clean through there. Good to see. Luke now. As close as you like. He's nearly off. Luke managing to keep it in a straight line. That was so close from our Birmingham driver there. British driver from Birmingham. Jesus Christ. As close as you like to throwing it into the wall. Lucky. Turn 11, I did say Luke, he'll be setting qualifying lap times every single time. He's got an 18 gap lead here, so he doesn't really need to push as much as he would, but the true racer in him really wants to see it through. Fastest lap times. Even with that mistake, he was still a 2:13. Still quick out on track. Vanbury, much better lap last time round, 2:12. Class of the field, Luke making a little mistake, so last lap, Luke enters turn 1 for the first and last time. Very sideways, good driving. Coming up onto turn 2, still flat out. What can you say? Luke has been the class of the field all day in these SR3 Radicals. Our British driver from Birmingham, showing why he is a Pro Esports driver. We've got a bit of traffic up there, so hopefully the guy sees him P1 and lets him through. I think that's Tro coming way out the way. It is. Luke taking Tro doing a good job keeping out the way of our drivers there. Tro, a resident Thursday Night Light series guy. Good driving by him. It's not difficult being all the way back there. Looks like Luke might have Andy up next. Nope, a little way off that, so Luke's going to be coming up onto the carousel very shortly. On board with Luke as he navigates the hurry downs into turn 6 for the last time. Third gear through there, usually taking for second. Very squiggly on the exit of that, but still keeping it pointing in the right direction, which is the main thing. Flat out in fourth, Luke, round the carousel. Little flick of the steering. Hell of a line through there by our British driver. Into the kink now for the last time. Flat out. Change of gear as he's coming around the corner as well. Great to see. So he's navigated the kink through the kettle bottoms. Good line through there. Into Canada corner now for the last time of the night. Does he get it stopped? He does. Still needs to keep it on track, of course. Any accidents will see him lose a spot. He has 20 seconds to the rest of the field. Cranberry has 20 seconds to Uniclark too. Uniclark looks like he's got that third position done. On board with Luke as he navigates turn 11, the last corner of our race tonight. Luke up the start finish. Well-deserving race. Winner of our feature race. Luke Bennett, Pro Esports driver. Good driving, buddy. Well done. Well-deserved. Crossed the line. Good job by him. Cranberry. Following up, coming through turn 10 and 11 now. 20-second gap in the end. A few little mistakes here and there, but good drive. Good point scoring position from our new RR driver, who gets very squiggly. Managing to keep it in the straight line though. Good driving. Coming up the start finish, second position. Tambriel. Good driving, buddy. Well done. Well deserved. Uniclark now. Navigating the Canada corner, coming up to turn 10. He is. Looks like Uniclark's going to have P3 done. The last podium spot of the night goes to Uniclark. Our British driver from Swindon, showing you why he is a regular in the Robbins Racing Series. Good driving. A quick on board with Andy though. Andy and Uber very close to each other. So this for all the marbles into the last corner. Uber goes defensive. Andy tries to keep the momentum up. Looks like Uber's got a good line through there. These boys so close to one another. Andy in the draft coming at the start finish, but it's too little too late, I think. P5 and P4, Andy was catching there. Good driving by Uber. Good driving by Andy. They should be very proud of their positions there. Good driving. Kembo navigating P11. Good point scoring position for our resident American driver. Good outing by Ken. Good to see him doing well. Cross the line. P6 for our American driver Kembo. Dauphinio. Good driving by Dauphinio. Our Czech driver from Olomouc deserves 7th place. Fantastically drove. He had that car so fast in a straight line. Rome, new to Robbins Racing, should hold his head up high. Did a fantastic job and has been part of some great battles. Thank you, Rome. Good job, buddy. Across the line. P8. Scotty. What can you say? He's been involved in a few overtakes today. P9, top 10 position by our Welsh driver from Swansea. Multiverse finishing off our top 10 spots across the line. Good outing by Multi. Good to see our Portuguese driver doing well. Lecky, Touring Car Pro, across the line in P11. All the boys doing an absolute fantastic job. I will say before we get off to please come and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Get involved with the Discord. We've got loads of leagues being run at the minute. Get yourself involved. There will be a link in the description. But from all of the Robbins Racing crew, Luke Bennett, Thornbriel, Uniclark in the podium spots. Uber and Andy and Kemba and Dauphinio, all members of staff there, having a really good strong outing. Rome, Scotty and Multiverse, all within the top 10 spots. Fantastic. Next up, we will have the LMP 1 League, hosted by Uber, Saturday night. Make sure you get involved. There'll be a link in the description. From everybody here at Robbins Racing, thank you for joining us, and thank you for the love and support.